voice of Martin Taylor. I am sheep, bad, 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 bad. Praise the Lord, my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep, bad, 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 bad. Praise the Lord, my soul to keep. I just want to be a sheep, bad, 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 bad.
I would have told that young girl, don't ever confuse your experience with your worth. A lot of times you go through different situations, different circumstances with family, friends, just different happenings in life, and sometimes you get caught up in those things and you forget your value, and you forget like the person that you are is not necessarily the experience that you went through. I've had various encounters with God on my own as a child through music. As I would study different scriptures, he would give me a song to sing, and I would, memorize my scriptures then. But I was developed in that way, and I was fun. I was very positive. I was always my grandma's shadow, as a lot of people would call me, just because I was always clinging to somebody that I knew when out and about in public. And outside of that, like I was a bubbly person. I was, energetic, fun, loved life, loved to sing, liked to entertain, all that stuff. I loved growing up around family. I loved company, just having numerous people in the house. Especially on holidays, we would have a lot of food. My grandma would cook, my mom would cook. My aunt would come over from California. I had family in California. And we would just always get together, Christmas, Thanksgiving, any big holidays. And I loved it, just the fact of everybody being joyful, smiles, company, presents, love, all that stuff was around. And my relationship with my mom was very, very, very close-knit. And even with my grandma. So through the years growing up with her, my mom was very quiet. She never really raised her voice.
And what about your mama?
Oh, and I love my mama because she's my best cousin.
Wait, cousin. You mean mama?
Mama.
Let's put this knife
But there was a particular day, and it was close to Christmas, and I had got a call. My mom and I were in the same bedroom, and we were asleep. It was a weekend, and she got a call, and she wasn't waking up, so I picked it up, and it was her coworker, checking on my mom, and I was wanting to go back to sleep, so I just told the lady, like, she's fine, she's resting. So then the lady calls back again sometime after the fact, and I was like, well, let me get my mom on the phone so that this lady can stop calling and I can go back to sleep. So I went to go and wake up my mom, and she wasn't waking up, and at the same time I wasn't really freaking out. I was just, thinking, okay, maybe she's in a deep sleep, whatever. So I went to go back and wake her up again, and she wasn't waking up, and I didn't really have, a fear or anything frantic. But I went to go get my uncle, and I was like, yo, my mom's not waking up. I don't really know what's going on. Mind you, I'm half asleep. He takes me out with my cousins to take me to Toys R Us, which it was fine. I think it was later, either that day or that week, I was sat down, and this was either on Christmas or a little bit closer to Christmas. And my family, they brought me to this gathering in the living room, like, we need to talk. And in my head, I already had an idea what it was. And I was, blatantly, I just said, is my mom dead?
I may never understand that my broken heart is a part of your plan. When I try to pray, all I got is hurt and these 4 words.
So they approached me with it, and they told me, and I had this nonchalant face on my, expression. And I was just like, okay. And I didn't really cry. I didn't, have any type of fit or anything like that. And I just went back to my room and kind of contemplating and, back to playing with my Barbies. But it was after the fact, I remember I think it was for 6 months, I actually cried every night. But for the most part, I was, very strong. And so I felt the need to still have that stance, even in dealing with the death of my mom. And my father was never in the picture either. So then my grandma became my guardian. And there was a lot of backlash, and a lot of it really came from just really not handling the death of my mom in the proper way, or how to express, the feelings that I did have. She passed away when I was 11. It became very hard as a preteen to really just live my life because I felt I was no longer nurtured. After that, my relationship with Christ kind of dwindled down. Definitely angry. I always ask God, why? Like, tell me why. What was the purpose? I slipped into becoming addicted to porn, and by the grace of God, delivered me out of that. And even like the spirits of suicide and just insecurity. And growing up, I had a lot of insecure areas in my life that I didn't realize stemmed from the death of my mom and not handling that properly. I still have a lot of healing to do. So it's important for me to be vulnerable. It's important for me to share. It's important for me to speak up and, let that out, so it's not so bottled up, and, I can never really touch people's lives the way I'm supposed to, because I've never even dealt with those areas of my life, which hinders my own progress. Never abandon your testimony or your struggles. A lot of times we like to, hide those things and keep them secret and not tell anybody, and nobody, I don't want anybody to know about this part of my life. But that's the beauty of life, is to share your story, share your testimony, share where you come from, because some of those things that you go through are not just for you. It's really for somebody else that probably doesn't know how to handle it, or may want to give up in the middle of that situation, but you have the key to what they're needing. So you just have to get in your rightful position to be confident and to share your story. And just to remember, like, your past is your past, but it's what brought you to this place. When you walk in your purpose, you're fulfilling the very thing that you were called to do on this earth, whatever it is concerning your life. And when we're not walking to it, there's a frustration that we get, and it's like an internal frustration of, I don't understand why I'm here, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm bored. And it was always something that I always wanted to discover for myself, so I can get to the place to help others find their purpose. And I think it's so important, because we have so many dreams that are lost. And, there's this quote where it's saying the richest place is the graveyard. And it's true, because there's so many dreams that have been lost with people that, are no longer here. There's something out here for you that you are supposed to do to help somebody else. And it's greater than us, greater than what we really think and what we see. And it's important for people to know that, so that they have a sense of identity.